A light
Okay,
out or something? It
okay,
seems
we're
dark.
live, yeah. Now call order this common council meeting for the city of Huntingburg. Stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father God, thank you for all those that are here today, the elected officials, as well as those employees and citizens that are here to voice their concerns. And we ask now, we go in this meeting, that decisions we make may be for the benefit of all for the city of Huntingburg. For these things, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, we have 3 minutes to approve today. We'll start with the common council meeting from 8:26.
Three of them, all three were 8:26. Morning,
Yeah, they all were.
afternoon,
Should
and
we have to, we have to do all three though, right?
night.
Separately?
Just together.
Can we do all three? Okay, great. So we have the evening, plus we have the 2 sessions that were budget sessions in morning and afternoon. Do I have a motion to approve all 3?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Got a first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have approval of claims.
Make motion to approve the claims.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Matt passes. We have right now, this past month at the Parks Board, they approved, the Parks Board, a fund to be able to get a national fitness court. They received a $30,000 grant. Going to need to raise approximately $145,000 through local match. Now, some of that match will be donated labor. Some of it will be through a patronicity grant. They're hoping to raise about $100,000 through another grant, as well as they're going to do some advertising and sell rental space on it for local businesses to put their name on it. We have a picture of the fitness court at the bottom, looking at putting that at Niehaus Park. The reason for putting that Niehaus is they did a heat map of people that exercise, use Fitbits and other types of devices to measure their fitness, and they showed that as the hottest spot in town for people to go, to walk, to play, to do the disc golf and different things. There's several cities around in Indiana that have these right now. I did visit one of the ones up north in Mishawaka. It's been there for about 7, 8 years, and you could tell it was 7 or 8 years old, but it was still in great shape. And they have improved even since then. Some of them, Marion, Indiana, Monticello, most of the cities that I can't remember all of them, the ones in Indiana, but there are a few out there. But this is a not-for-profit organization that puts this on. There will be no city money involved other than labor. If we do donated labor, helping to install the court or putting down the concrete, if the Parks Department did that, we could save considerable amount of money, but that would really, the idea right now, this is the Mayor's Youth Council project, where they'll be working on raising those funds over the next several months to try to reach that amount. So you're really not putting money towards it with this resolution, but considering moving it on. Kind of looked at this over the last 3 months and started as youth council project and went to the Parks Board.
I think it's a great idea.
Is there, I know that this is probably not the place for it, but just a suggestion that it's in a shaded area, because I think that's why Niehaus Park is so widely used, is because it's a shaded area to be able to walk, where it's not quite so hot during the summer months.
Yeah, we kind of have to put that against also having those limbs and stuff fall
Yeah.
on there, weigh it against it. Right now, looking at the area, maybe somewhere near the start of the trail to the west of the driving range, in that area where you do have some shading there along that path, but
Yeah. At least part of
not
the
right
day.
out in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be out in the middle, but it's gonna be somewhere where it can be seen from the road. We've noticed, unfortunately, everyone will say it, that heat map is showing that a lot of people are crossing the road right there, the highway, to get to the park from
I believe it.
the OFS area, so it's also in our radar now. with our Safe Streets for All grant, and talk to the NDOT about what we can do there too. But I know that's been discussed in the past, but we do really need to do something at the intersection. And this could be maybe an impetus to work towards that. So what we would need is just a information from the board, accept the resolution that was already adopted by the Parks Board already.
Is there, Mayor, is there a breakdown of, like you had ran through who was gonna be responsible for what, you know, for dollar amounts? Is that broken down someplace where we can see, like,
Yeah, I don't have that.
it's okay?
What I've got right now, but there's 30,000, it's 145,000. We have 30,000 in grants. We're hoping for, our other goal is, and I think we easily attainable, is 100,000 through Patronicity. Patronicity is a match grant program where there will be a fundraising through the Mayor's Youth Council, utilizing Patronicity is promoting this across the state where people can donate. So it's a match funds, you take 50,000 in donations, match 50,000 in grant to get you to the 130,000. We think that looking at it, just our costs right now, that we could probably put about $15,000 or less into labor and concrete, but that'll be equal to about $30,000 to $35,000 in match funds because we take it at the retail amount. And that'd just be utilizing parks and street department people to pour the concrete and set everything in.
And then when they construct a park like this, do they put all the stations like in one location, or could they be spread out along the walking path?
No, they're all on the path itself. It's designed to go from station to station. It's also using your own weight and kinetics, so it's good for seniors, it's good for young people. There are no weights involved from the standpoint of, from a danger standpoint, but, and on the backside is an area where you could do a mural. A lot of people are doing murals on the back sides of them, and along the sides, selling advertisement on there. You know, a lot of times it's hospitals or fitness gyms and those type of things that buy the advertising on there. But it's all designed as one one match. You can actually make them twice as large. And on the backside is aerobic type of mat with music and stuff. But those are really settled for people that have different weather than what we have. They probably work in California or Georgia, maybe not so much in Huntingburg, Indiana.
That looks like San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Oakland, California in the picture here, I believe.
Pretty much year-round spring.
Yeah.
Mishawaka, which is a very cold region, they're very happy with theirs. And like I said, that's one I went and visited when I was up there in that area on vacation. We stopped in and looked at it and talked to the mayor and stuff. Later on, talked to the mayor, but not during that, not that day.
So do you need you need a motion to approve the?
To raise the funds, to allow us to go forward and raise the funds and collect those funds. It's part of this. Not asking for funding itself.
Motion made.
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries then. I've got a proclamation on September 15th begins Latino Heritage Month, and Hispanic Heritage Month. And I read that here. I don't have the large version of that, but we have it on here. Whereas the United States observes National Hispanic Heritage Month by honoring the contribution of Hispanic and Latino culture, and whereas because so many Latin American countries gained independence between the dates of September 15th and October 15th, President Ronald Reagan declared that the 30-day period as Hispanic Heritage Month, and whereas Hispanic Americans embody the the best of the American values such as strength, commitment, and community, and fierce faith, whereas the contribution of the Hispanic citizens to the culture of Huntingburg have shaped the future of our city and through the influence of our government, economy, and social growth. Now, therefore, I, Neil Elkins, Mayor, Huntingburg, Indiana, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025 as Hispanic Heritage Month in Huntingburg. Urge citizens of Huntingburg to observe the month by recognizing that we speak as one culture and recognize and celebrate the contributions of our Hispanic community in our city and country. We will be presenting this at the high school later on. Also doing some recordings with Los Raiders this coming week. Myself and also Mayor Von der Heide will be doing some reading of the proclamation and recording part of it, and we'll send that out. We're looking at other visits with some of the high school students. There was a unity night this past Friday night. Was it this past Friday? No, it was Friday night before, 11 days ago.
Yeah.
That we had that. There's a lot of people attended that. That's really what took place at the Latino Festival. It was suspended for the year. And it's the same dates that we celebrated it this past year. Next considerations, we have the Board of Public Works is approached by OFS with their construction expanding up on 400 West, Building 18 being basically built and produced out on the west side. They're adding about 160,000 square feet of space out there. Most of it will be warehouse space, but have parts for manufacturing across the street. Because of our requirements for flood control and water control, their parking lot has to be turned into a detention pond, which means that now there'll be more people crossing 400 West. Probably won't happen until late next year, but regardless of even of that situation, we've been out there. The county is 30 mile an hour. We're at 40. And if you want to drive out there at any point, it's gotten busier and busier every year with Barbet, the other plants, and probably 40 mile an hour is way too high for that. The Board of Public Works has suggested a 30 mile an hour speed limit. I've driven it numerous times at 30 mile an hour, taking trash out there and different things. And if you come out off of 64, you're going 30 mile an hour to the stop sign. Then from the stop sign to the railroad tracks, you're at 45. You can't ever reach 45 before you hit the tracks unless you've got it really hard. But it's more comfortable at 30 mile an hour. And then you have to get past the tracks up to 19th Street. It takes a while to even get up to 40, but then you have to slow down for the stop sign. So I don't think it's going to be a big difference in a 10 mile an hour speed limit. But it'll also make us match what already is being observed by the county.
Well, does the county start at Phoenix there and come west?
Actually,
Is that 30?
county starts confusing because when you you come off of State Road 64,
Yeah,
and the first few feet are city, then it turns to county, and it's county all the way to 12th.
yeah,
And then it goes back to city again after you get over 12th Street,
yeah.
and then city all the way out to Phoenix.
If you drive it now, it's, the county just blacktop it, so you'll know what the county is.
Yeah.
They just
County did there a little bit.
County blacktop.
Okay. Just,
The ordinance 2025-18.
When would this go into effect? Right away, or you
It would go in effect, signs will go up as soon as it's approved here.
Right, it's approved, yeah, approved and published one time.
We're gonna roll it out in a couple ways. We're gonna go ahead and put out the flashing signs that show the speed limit and their speed like the state has put in down there. We'll put in those first. Those will also let us track what the actual speed is. So that gives us a chance to get people slowed down and control the speed before we put a crosswalk in. What type of crosswalk, we haven't said, the discussion has been an elevated crosswalk, flashing signs, all that will be paid for by OFS, won't be at any city cost. But what we want to restrict, my biggest concern is that, because that parking lot is so wide, they can cross anywhere they want. How are we gonna funnel them to a controlled crosswalk? And whether that be a fence or landscaping or some type of barrier that will convince people
They're gonna wanna cross
that they have to cross at that crosswalk. So that's something we still will have a few months to work out with OFS, and again, it'd be at their cost to make that happen. We shouldn't really slow it down anyway, the number of cars that come. Going by today's standards of cars that enter and exit a roadway, we're already meeting that requirement according to two different engineers we spoke to with our own street standards that are 30 mile an hour is more appropriate. So we,
It'd be consistent, then.
It is kind of confusing when it's
Up
two
and down.
different speed limits on in such a short stretch. I don't think anybody really, it's kind of like you don't know.
I drove it the other day, as the mayor said, I took some trash out and 30 mile an hour is about all I fast, so I want to drive in at 30, you know, if
Yeah.
it's 30, you're gonna drive 35 probably.
That's-
And
They might do that in district. They might do that in
somebody else.
They don't do it.
Oh, 1 and 4 are straight legs.
There is one exception of the council members on speeding, so. So what we would need is, do we have a number for this 2025?
18.
18, okay.
2025, 18.
I'll make a motion to approve 20.
Introduce.
Introduce,
Introduce.
I will introduce.
Number and introduce.
All right, 2025-18.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to introduce and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
You can suspend the rules if you choose by unanimous consent and consider it the same meeting in which it's introduced.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have first and second, suspend the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Motion for
Now,
adoption.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
we have first and second to adopt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
There's just no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
No.
Do you have it?
Huh.
Do you have a copy? You can sign it tomorrow, of course, but.
I have a copy with 3 holes in it. That's how it works.
Okay.
I don't have a copy.
Here you
All
go.
right. Next, we have another ordinance amending the zoning maps
No,
for the
he's gotta check our name.
CHRK rentals.
CHRK.
Yeah, that is the project that would place two duplexes and up on 8th Street. If you're familiar, it used to be, right now it's a vacant lot. It used to be a storage
Already started.
buildings there. That was approved earlier through the Plain Commission City after publication of notices, as you can read in here. So now they've presented it to the Common Council for approval there. I don't know what questions you have about the project, but we're moving it.
They rezone it from an R1 single family to R2
Okay.
duplex.
It'll just be up the street from where other duplexes and townhomes are being built presently too. So I think it fits the neighborhood pretty well.
This is the only two lots that they're rezoning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not really, that's a good spot for that, really.
So we would need a motion to accept.
Yeah, that would be a
Or to
2025,
introduce, excuse
19.
me. For 2025-19, need a motion to present.
I can make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Now, on a zoning ordinance that's been recommended by the by the Plan Commission, since it's already had a public hearing, you may adopt, without suspending the rules, you may adopt at the same meeting in which it's introduced. So you've introduced it, and you may now adopt it.
I move to adopt.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to adopt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Kissling.
Aye.
Bounce.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
We have Fire Department Fire Chief, Don Hine, coming forward here to talk about the automatic aid proposal with the city of Jasper. Not sure the resolution number. Do we have a resolution number?
I don't know that they, I haven't,
There's two things I'll explain.
no, I don't have it. I haven't prepared a resolution. I just got
Something
this.
to do with
it's,
Okay.
You're doing too.
I'd like to present Exhibit A. I've always wanted to say that. Here you go, Mayor.
Thank you.
You get a legal doc-
Huh?
You get an attorney?
Yeah.
Chris Lee told me to not pass it.
So I have two things here. The first one, the one on top, is the automatic aid. I was here a couple of months ago and discussed that a little bit. Since then, the area, the county departments, they're not quite there yet, but Jasper and Huntingburg we operate the same, so we're a little closer to do this, and Jasper's attorney and Phil have reviewed this. They've made their changes. Kenny and I both agree with this, and so we would like to kind of present this and get approval to move on forward with this. Basically what this is for any confirmed structure fire with smoke showing or flame showing, Huntingburg, if it's in Jasper, Jasper Dispatch Center would page Huntingburg at the same time. We have protocols. The whole department doesn't go there. It is one truck, an engine. It will be ladder 36 because it can operate as an engine, and 4 people, and that's all that's going, unless it gets bigger and bigger, but they would use other mutual aid. And the same would go for us. If we have a fire with smoke showing or flame showing, DuBois County Dispatch would dispatch Jasper, and they would come with an engine and 4 people as well. And then we would assign tasks accordingly, probably predetermined tasks, so that it's more efficient. If it's in Jasper, it's their scene. We follow their rules, and when it's in Huntingburg, it's our scene, and they follow our rules. It's all spelled out there. It's very similar to the mutual aid agreement that we have. Anywhere in the county, I can call, I can ask for Holland. It is not mandatory. If we have an emergency here in Huntingburg and Jasper has an emergency, I can deny and say I can't come, but we gotta tell them right away so they know, because we have an emergency to handle here. We're not just gonna say, nah, we don't really feel like it today, try again tomorrow. That's not what that's about. It's just about if, it doesn't do any good if we're sending people back and forth. So it's just to say, hey, we have an emergency going on right now that we need all of our manpower for. And then we can go to our mutual aid, which just takes a little longer. And what this does is when the call goes out, in today's world, we have mutual aid. We get to the scene, we assess and say, oh, we probably need some help. Let's call Jasper. Now Jasper gets paged, and now they have a turnout time and a drive time to get here. This would get rid of that turnout time. We would get called at the same time. They're already on the way. I don't have to worry about calling them, and we can always turn them around. It is not for car fires. It is not for dumpster fires. It is not for nuisance fires. It is for structure fires only. Confirmed, not for alarms. We get alarms all the time, all over the place. It's not for that.
So the main advantage is just response time, is that?
Response time and experience. When you're a small department, if you get 1 fire a year, you're not getting any experience. And by the time you get your next one, it's like, wow, how did we do the last one? So this gives us more opportunities for our departments to grow together. It will require us to train together, so there's more training. There is a little bit of a cost. I'm not asking for any money. We'll figure that out. It's not a lot. Jasper doesn't have a lot of house fires, and we have just a little bit less. structure fires, commercial or residential. But you're talking $100 a run or so. It's not that much, plus fuel.
Will this have any positive effect on our ISO ratings?
It absolutely will have and I don't know if it'll have a positive effect this year, because that's October 6th that we get audited. But if we can get this, at least he'll see, if he sees a signed document that there's commitment to this, that might help us. But it'll definitely help us once he sees that we're responding the way that we say we will. So I don't know if it'll help this year, but it definitely,
Sure won't hurt.
definitely helps. The county departments, St. Anthony and Schnellville and Celestine, they're looking more at tanker support. I can do tanker support, but I have to pick one or the other. And for us, we're using engines. So they're gonna use an engine, and we have an SOP that as soon as we get something in the county, we just call it immediately. I don't even have to I tell them, you don't have to get there, just if it's a working fire, just call it. And we can always turn them around if we don't need the tanker support. But
I know this, the red line version of this came in late today. I don't know if Phil's had a chance to.
Well, I've seen the red line version, and I've edited it so that it's executable. I just didn't know until late this evening that you were going to adopt it or consider it. However, the council just needs to approve it, and that can be done by a motion in the minutes. And the reason it's being brought before the council is there is a possibility of some funding that would occur. We'd have to pay the firemen that respond to these fires, and so you should be aware of that and know
there's
that.
Equipment that could get,
Equipment is used and
yeah.
could depreciate or whatever.
Our insurance has to cover too.
Yep, and, but the agreement is really, will be signed and will be authorized by the Board of Public Works and Safety. You need to approve it so that the Board of Works, feels comfortable also approving it and signing off on it.
How do you know when there's smoke and flames? Is it when somebody calls 911?
They call it in.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna say, hey, I have a fire, and the dispatch will determine that at that time.
Okay.
Will this be like added to your report every month to the Board of Public Works, how many runs you went to Jasper?
Automatic, I probably would change that. Right now, we have a mutual aid portion in there, how many mutual aid runs we do. I would probably spell that out with automatic aid, so that we can have that information for future. Data is good.
Do you have a number of how many house fires we have and they have, or structure fires each year?
This is really, we don't like to talk
Yeah,
about
I was
this.
gonna say,
Yeah. Well, I don't want to jinx you. You don't have to tell me anything.
Last
Yeah.
year, we had 5,
Yeah.
and that is not normal. Typically 2,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna talk about this year. Okay, so we're just not gonna go there. But I'd say historically, probably 2-year, Glenn, fair. It goes up or down a little bit. Last year was not a normal year. We've had some years like that, but last year was a little bit more significant.
Jasper did provide aid on some of those fires too.
They were there I know for 3 of them for sure.
Yeah.
We called them anyway. I mean, it just gets them there quicker instead of
Right.
waiting for us to get tired and then we call them and we need some help. And we have more people on hand at the beginning.
another thing is some help is if they are on a scene, active scene, Jasper's sort of on a standby. If you get a medical run, they could handle that and not take the manpower away from us. So that's a mutual
Yeah.
thing too. We've had that happen quite often. You're on a run, all of a sudden you get a medical run the
And
same
then I have
time.
to pare down and send what I need to cover that run.
So, what do you need a motion to adopt, or, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, motion to authorize the execution of the automatic mutual aid agreement for fire protection.
Motion to authorize.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Exhibit B is, we have been probably since February. In February, we had a run where We had 2 codes at the same time. We have one Lucas device that was bought through the county and lots of donations. And that night we could have used 2. We have 3 medical trucks. Recently, I learned of the opioid settlement fund, and there's a restricted and unrestricted. The restricted is very difficult. You have to, trying to think of the wording here, it has to be used in a certain way. And so what when you go to an opioid overdose, they depress the body's systems. The breathing rate goes way down. The heart rate goes way down, not enough to sustain life. So one of the first things that we do is it's CPR, and this would help us on scene for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you might explain what a Lucas device is.
I'm sorry, the
I know
Lucas
what it is.
device is a machine that gives compressions so that we can do other things. For example, we can give airways and give better respirations through that. We can pick the person up and still be giving compressions, where in the past, every time we pick a person up, put them on a cot, we have to stop compressions. And then you're trying to do compressions while the cot is moving and it doesn't work very well, you're not getting good compressions, and then we have to stop to get them in the ambulance. The Lucas device allows that to have consistent compressions at the right depth, the right rate, so that we can maneuver more efficiently and use our experience in other ways. Our department, we're very fortunate. We have a critical care nurse who, and then I have 2 paramedics, and we have 7 EMTs. And we have a lot of EMRs. EMRs are emergency medical responders, first responders. EMTs are emergency medical technicians. So we're very fortunate. EMTs can do a lot on a code that is more beneficial, and the Lucas device helps with that. So that is my proposal. The fire department has raised $10,000 so far, and we're not asking for the whole thing, but we're willing to throw everything that we've raised so far. But I'm just trying to make our medical more efficient and faster by any of our trucks that can get to you first. Time is of the essence when we have
And the restricted
The
opioid
cardiac
funds were,
intervention.
how much, we have about 48,000 to restrict the opioid,
48, 49,
that
and then.
does grow, but
Yeah, and then, so there's a quote for 2, and then you could take 10 off of that, because we have 10 right now that is designated for that.
So this would be for us to have 3 total?
We would have 1 on every single medical truck, so it doesn't matter. Our guys, when it's a medical run, our guys go to the closest station and grab. But if it's a cardiac event, if you're on the north side, you gotta go all the way to First Street when you could have been at 11th Street. The truck that I drive during the weekend, it rotates to all of our officers. It's manned almost 24/7. So they can leave straight from home, or if they're driving around, I respond a lot of times if I'm, out and about. It's kind of like a police officer. I'm already rolling, I just go. And so it just adds seconds and minutes, and it could be what is absolutely necessary for somebody.
How much money are you short by, or we?
go ahead.
So the bottom of the second page, that's the total. Now you can subtract 10 from that,
Okay.
because we have 10 to add to contribute. This was our goal set after the February, that we wanted to at least get 2. But when I learned of this, I thought, well, any of our medical trucks should be exactly the same.
Is this a single source?
There is no, yes, they're the only ones that sell this. There is no other vendor. You have to buy it from them. I tried going through another vendor who thought he could, but he said, no, you gotta get it through the manufacturer. So there's only one vendor for that. That's why you don't have multiple quotes.
What is the life of these?
I can't answer that. I know that the ambulances had them for years. you take care of them and do the PM on it. And that's what part of this is the PM for them to come in and do the preventive maintenance and making sure that everything's good.
Keep the batteries current.
Yeah.
It's probably the most expensive part of it, isn't it, the batteries?
No.
No, I mean, no, as far as
Oh, upkeep preventive,
maintenance
yes.
later on,
absolutely,
after you
absolutely,
have
yes.
one.
Yes.
Keeping
yeah.
them, because
The batteries are expensive.
like anything else, batteries will go south before the rest of the unit usually.
Yeah, the suction using silicone and it's not like a rubber where it dry rots or something.
So what is that amount? That
It'd be-
would be
54,577.
Yeah, just so you know, he is asking for for the restricted
Yes,
funds. The
restricted.
unrestricted funds are a little easier to use. It's almost impossible to use the restricted unless it's, to this type of, it's related opioid or it's related, and this would be part of, with your Narcan and.
Yes, and we
with
carry
the-
Narcan on our
Part of
trucks.
that kit, to be able to, and that's part of the provision to make it eligible too for this.
So we would need to do an additional appropriation for that 44 of the restricted opioid, which I can put together for the next meeting to start that process.
We have that fund, that's it. We have that fund set up.
Okay.
That's good.
Would need a motion to,
Essentially, you're just proceeding with appropriating the funds to make the purchases from the restricted opioid funds.
and,
Because we have to
we'd
have,
have to, yeah.
you have to have a public hearing and additional appropriations ordinance.
So as long as we can move forward with the process with the next public hearing being probably at our next meeting,
Well,
before.
we were gonna put together something with
It'd probably be October then.
the street department, yeah.
Yeah,
That will also need an additional appropriation.
yeah.
So you need a motion to appropriate or
Well-
what, or what?
Just to move,
forward.
to, I guess, allow Tom to move forward with the process so we can present it in a public meeting to vote on the appropriation.
I'll make that. I'll note that approval, yeah, for Tom to move forward. Second.
I'll second.
Then we got a first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any opposed, I should say. All right, thank you, motion carries. So, it'll have to be it'd be an October type meeting, I would guess, Tom, by the time the process
Pretty nice.
rolls through
Yeah.
the first
I mean,
October
we-
meeting.
We're gonna hear about the street on,
Yeah,
End of-
on October
end of-
1st, 2nd, or whatever. Okay,
so we'll have it to start and then to set a public hearing for the appropriation, so it won't be available for you until probably mid-October.
yeah, we have
It's
the
better
bids,
than waiting until next year.
we have the bids, opening for the roof October 1st, October 2nd, Board of Public Works, and then once we know that dollar amount, we'll be asking the council to
And that's only to keep
following
it,
meeting.
to keep, to do one additional appropriation ordinance rather
Yeah.
than multiple.
We can, then those two items will be put together in one ordinance, so. That's the timeline, so, probably second Tuesday of October.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you for looking at that, Donnie. Next thing is consideration, we did bring this up to enter into the interlocal agreement. We have a resolution 2025, but we had 19, is that what it
Could
is?
be 20, I guess.
20, 25,
That's where
20.
all that
I
stuff,
think it's 20. Is it?
forgot.
I think
Yeah.
that we could. And, that's the first one we have to enter into. That's working with the city of Jasper on completing the study, but also working with them to negotiate whatever that price is. The state of Indiana for relinquishment of 231. Just to be clear, this doesn't mean that we're agreeing to relinquishment of 231 to us, but just investigate what the costs are, what the liability is. And within the study, a lot of things will be considered, not only just the cost and condition of the existing highway, but what are the future costs of the city, how will it change traffic patterns within the city? All the things that people you hear and are concerned about, and you hear at this table are concerned about, how will the Mid-States Corridor impact the city of Huntingburg if we were to take relinquishment of 231? By no means, and I'll just make it clear again, are you okay that we'll accept relinquishment? But we have to know what that number is, and I think it's a good idea to be able to bring in and do a study to be able to see all the things that we should consider that we aren't considering now.
I think Jeff brought this up in the past. I hope, this study by the company, the corporation who we're going with is not biased on either way. I think we definitely need the information on what it's going to take for the city to do in regards favoring or against. I mean, hopefully this study would be a little clearer, so it's easy to consider
in
one way or the other.
In our one-on-one meeting, I can guarantee you that there is no bias on the end of. They've already given us a lot of information and firepower to be able to go forward with a bold ask on our end, but we do have to determine what that bold ask is going to be from the state of Indiana.
If we're entering into an agreement for the study with Jasper, would it also be fair to assume that negotiations would also be kind of a joint effort also?
Yes.
When it's done? Okay.
So this is just saying that we will both use Avenue, we will both work together for this. And part of this plan, we want elected officials there without being in violation of any open door policies, but we will have, our city planners there, we'll have police, we'll have fire, our street department, people that are dealing with all the issues that come along with relinquishment, whether they be accidents, control of the streets themselves, maintenance of the streets, what are PASER ratings, what's our liability moving down the road, who's going to clean these streets, all the things that need to be considered by. We've already made a huge list among our group, but we want other city employees involved in the process too, to be able to make sure we're having all considerations.
Is the study that was completed, I think you had mentioned Franklin, Indiana, as a study that this organization did
Yeah, they
previously?
worked on it, yeah.
Are the results of that study publicly available?
Yeah, don't have those, but.
No, I'm just curious if I can
I
find
have
them or-
visited Franklin since relinquishment, and it has been a positive turn to their downtown. And Franklin was a little different because the city of Franklin approached the state and said, we want the highway back. Same thing happened in Madison. We want the highway. We don't want you managing it anymore. We want to do it ourselves. And so those type of relinquishment agreements are a little different, where you're volunteering, taking that over versus somebody wants you to take it over. In this case, in the end, it may just say that the risk is too high, we don't want it. That could be one of the answers, I don't know.
I sort of look at it as almost like a house insurance policy. You hope you don't need it, but it's there if you do.
We can't ask for any more than they're offering us if we don't have a value or a background on what that value is.
Well, and I think this is what we had been looking for, is just an independent study to tell us what the impact is gonna be on, like, the businesses, this is, I think, what we've been looking for, and in the whole scheme of things, I think it is a lot of money, but we're talking enormous dollars, and so this is, reasonable considering.
I agree. I think in order for us to make a truly informed decision and consider all input, people that live in town, people that live out of town, what the cost is going to be, that all of that has to go into finally whether we as a body decide to endorse this project or not. I don't think that we could, I don't think I could get to the point of making a decision without knowing these numbers.
I think it's gonna be just one more tool on our tool belt here to make decisions. And if time comes to pass where they're going to present something, the state's going to say, this is what we're offering, we really need to know what that equates to. And this will change over time. I mean, you know, this study's done now, and then, you know, if this drags on for 5 more years or 10 more years, I mean, those costs will change, and I'm hoping that they'll sort of establish that in this study, that if it's delayed, it will add a certain percentage of cost to it because of the aging infrastructure or lack of maintenance. It's really not maintained right now that well. I wouldn't want to inherit it the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
The state has determined right now, from their standpoint, that that value is in the vicinity of about $50 million, or could be higher. I think it probably is gonna be much higher.
I think it's
So,
2.5 times.
we're looking at about a $53,000 expense here, but we're also looking at tens of millions of dollars at stake.
At least.
Yeah.
So
Are we able to pay this half this year and half next year? Is it all gonna be?
we can work out something on that, yes. There is a payment that's planned. We do have a little bit of money left right now on some contract through various accounts, whether that be community development account, and I think I've got a little bit left of mine right now. But we can also put that forward into next year on the contract. Or if not, we'll have to come back for another appropriation, but hopefully through what's already been in the budget under community development and the mayor's budget, and the street budget, there is some contract money, there's enough contract money there. Just realize that we may not be able to do much else in that contract.
Right.
So, at a minimum, we have it there.
Do you recall the estimated completion date of the study again? I don't recall what that was from the last
Yeah.
I think it
meeting.
was February,
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have everything by next spring.
into February 26. Was the anticipated delivery schedule. No, I think that was,
It's
think
only
that's
based on
February.
approval.
We're about a month behind.
I
I
think
think about
Jasper
6
has not
months
approved it
total
either.
from the time I put it's approved and.
You're probably looking at early April, into March, early April is where we'll change with this, because we'll be about a month behind on proving Jasper, that we'll do it at their next meeting. Bring
that's
it up.
right, yeah.
So, I talked to Mayor Vonderheide this past week, and his plan is that they will approve it at their next meeting, so. Or
Looks like
vote
we
on
might
it
have
next
more
meeting.
road coverage to cover than what Jasper does. Have you guys seen that with Highway 56? It comes from Lagodi, it goes down to the square, it goes north to Jasper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they will be responsible from,
Jasper has a unique situation in the fact that ours is Highway 45 and 231. They're Highway 45, 231, and 56 in some areas.
Yeah.
And portions of that 56 will not be relinquished, so.
We'll hang on to that.
So, Phil, what do we need here?
Well, this is a resolution 2025-20 that would approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with the city of Jasper for the comprehensive study of the relinquishment of US Highway 231. It would, by this resolution, we would authorize the Board of Public Works and Safety to enter into a consulting agreement with Avenue and to negotiate a price therefore, and to conduct the study and to share the results with the city of Jasper, as well as cooperate, the two communities cooperate in any negotiations that take place in connection with any relinquishment.
Does it need to be addressed that Jasper has not approved it yet and that we're approving it? Would it be conditional upon Jasper actually following
Obviously,
through?
if they don't, it's an interlocal agreement, so if they don't approve it, it
Just dies.
doesn't happen.
Okay.
does everybody know why the county's not wanting to do it?
I do not know.
They're not interested at this point.
I do
don't
not
think,
know.
but That needs,
I mean, is
We'd
there
be
something?
foolish not to have this information, though, I think.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna get to a point when they're gonna give us a number, and without having this information, we don't even know where we stand on that
You
number.
might not even know with this information, so that's why I'm thinking you really gotta have as much as you can here.
Sure.
I agree.
So we need a motion to approve resolution 2025-20.
Assume it's motion to introduce or not?
No, just to approve it's a resolution, not an ordinance.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Councilwoman Bolte made the motion.
I'll second.
Got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
So this does have a roll call on it, so Kaitlyn,
Yeah,
Aye.
Bounce,
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
We'll need approval now to enter in agreement with Avenue. I've sent you information, I guess, about after the last meeting and their history and who they are. I've already met with them, both the county and the city of Huntingburg and city of Jasper. At preliminary meetings, we felt comfortable, but we need your approval to enter in an agreement. This is probably obviously conditioned upon Jasper being a part of that agreement.
You need a motion from us to move forward with Avenue?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Do we need Exhibit D here?
Oh, that's the interlocal agreement that
Okay,
you're
that's
authorized to
just-
sign,
that's it.
authorized to sign in Jasper, when Jasper approves.
So the dates of that obviously would change in Exhibit D.
It's just
at
the
time.
form of the interlocal agreement is attached.
You have any, all right.
I have nothing else.
Clerk Treasurer Tom Stipple.
No, other than to tell you, which I think Kinley may have already sent you an email, that there's some estimated miscellaneous incomes that are for the budget, and then also the Form 3, which is the tax levies and rates for 2026, the estimated. So that they should be on board pack. If they're not, let me know and I'll get with her.
I didn't see him.
I didn't see it.
Well, I saw an
Can we
email.
get those printed today before we leave?
She sent out an email, but I couldn't open PDF, so I don't know if it get on board.
I thought you posted them in the library, did you
In the
not?
library, I think.
If you go to your, the
Oh,
book icon,
All right,
There
that
we
makes
go.
sense.
Yeah, that's a different deal.
and then
We
it's
didn't have
Find it.
training on this.
Under
Did
Do
you?
the
internal.
books, then internal and,
Internal, okay, here it is.
okay.
Training.
July 10th.
I still have to hear yet for what the estimated
Income revenue.
edit, the lit funds will be, the LGF still has coming soon, which I have had that for about a month, so.
And I do
Coming
not,
soon.
unless I'm overlooking, I don't see those
For a
documents
state
in the
near you.
library.
did you open the,
I did
Budget.
under internal. I
Did you
got
open-
mayor's report, utility committee and public.
well,
Internal.
If you go to internal,
you have to go internal, and then there's a city budget
Yeah.
preparation.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
2026.
And-
Oh, okay, it's sub underneath that.
I
Thank
see
you.
it now.
I came in yesterday.
Go to.
And they're the last two items in
Here
that
where the
file.
little books
Those
are.
were sent
We
by
need to
Yeah.
get that.
Okay, yeah, all right.
And then, it's a document library and then internal.
Yeah, internal. And then, let me see, I gotta get back there.
Budget.
A budget, the very first file, 2026 city budget, you click on that,
Last two.
and that's the last two items
Oh,
that were added yesterday.
Other than that, I have nothing.
Too late.
Okay, any citizens items? I know we have a citizen, an elected official here.
Yes, sir.
You have something here?
Just a quick request. It was not mentioned the total cost on the bid for those two Lucas devices. May I know that?
Yes. Two total bids, 54,000, 577.14. The portion that comes out of the 44,000, 577.14 will be what's going to be appropriated out of the 48,000 balance that's in the
Thank you.
opioid account right now. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We see things and we should say them louder. I apologize. I know we have Senator Schmidt here, and do you have anything? You just here to?
Yeah, well, I'd like to, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how you're going to bring us more money from Indianapolis.
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, I have Exhibit A and B as well. Like to if you want.
That's too much reading.
Yeah, well, and actually here, if you want to just take one of these and pass around, this is just a simple handout, kind of talking about changes on veterans, through this. Now, this here is a tax and fiscal policy guide. This is not for today, reading, there's a lot of things explaining all the different taxes and monies that are collected and where they go. It's just a lot of interesting information, trying to provide knowledge and,
I want to know where my gas tax goes.
okay, there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But, well, anyway, I guess I'll get over here. No, so I just wanted, I guess actually, I might start out with saying, a year ago today was my last day on the Du Bois County Council. I resigned a year ago today, and tomorrow will be the 1-year anniversary when I was sworn in as your state senator, as our state senator.
Yes,
So,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It's been a whirlwind and a ride, to say the least. But I guess there was 3 things basically that was my philosophy and guiding principles, and they still are. It was delivering decisions to the local level, and accountability and efficiency of unelected bureaucratic functions that we have, here in the state end. Those are priorities. Now, a lot of things happened this year at the State House, and the biggest one, hit right in the face in January was Senate Bill 1. Okay, now Senate Enrolled Act 1. So what I've been doing is going around to town councils, city councils, and county councils. So there's 39 in District 48, and I think you guys are 28 or 29. I'm not for sure of those. I was at Gibson County at the county council, their county council meeting this morning. So that's all the county councils I've been to. But anyway, trying to help explain the overall philosophy of Senate Bill 1. I've talked to a lot of you guys individually about it, so if I'm dragging it on, go like this. But the same thing, the philosophy and the 7-year plan of Senate Bill 1 or Senate Enrolled Act 1 was delivering decisions to the local level, empowering us to make decisions, and basically simplicity and transparency of our property tax system. Instead of making 18 calculations to come up with a deduction, we're changing to where there will be straight, credits to the system. So I just wanted to, answer questions. I'll give you a little bit of background of kind of the overall philosophy and answer any questions that you have. But ultimately, simplifying the system, it's basically in 3 buckets. If you look at, say if you have a $150,000 home, the 1% cap will now go, by the time we get to year 7, I know I gave you guys one of these if you need another one, but that's all in there. It explains the transition from now until year 7, where we ultimately get to the 1% cap homesteads, or a 2/3 deduction of your assessed value. You would basically, on a $150,000 home, you would pay tax rate times 50,000. Okay, the 2% rental properties, land, they will have a 1/3 assessed value deduction, and pay tax rate times 100,000. The 3% businesses will end up paying tax rate times the full assessed value. Okay, so then the simplification of it. Okay, so now as you start to get rid of a lot of the different deductions, people are concerned about the deductions going away, whether it's solar or whatever deductions that are being phased out. But ultimately, at the end, the 2/3 deduction of your assessed value, that's where that's going. So that's the simplicity piece out of it. It'll be just basically everybody will have a standard 2/3. So we can all understand it, okay? And then the same way with the 1/3. Concern from people on business personal property tax going from the 80,000 to the 2 million. That's incentivizing small businesses and local businesses, and that's gonna help them and incentivize people to, to create businesses. But kept the $2 million threshold, so major corporations, power plants, things of that nature, weren't trying to, chop us off at the knees as local government. So if you say that deduction there, that we technically are gonna lose, when you get over here to the 3% people that are gonna be paying the assessed value on the entire portion of their assessed value, that's where that's made up. So it's not a fundamental shift of where we're collecting the taxes. It's just, simplifying it that way. Then also, the local income tax, and the wheel tax are then tools that we'll have as local governments. We're kind of fortunate that we don't have to address that. The county has a wheel tax here that's already implemented. That decision does not have to be made for community crossings until 2026. So if if we decide to do that locally, but the county is, that's already implemented. But those are tools that allow us to fine tune what we're doing, okay? Now, and I guess, do you guys collect, do you receive any income tax at this point from the county?
Yeah, yeah,
So-
which we will not in 2027.
So what was that for the certified shares or the property tax relief?
Right now, the
or
county's at
economic development?
1.2% on the lit, so we've received, basically Jasper and Huntingburg combined get about 53% of those funds. They will no longer be receiving those 2027. So for us to be able to we'll have to implement our own lit, Jasper and Huntingburg. However, it will be offset somewhat by the state lowering the income tax on the state level at
Yes.
2027. It'll also be offset by the county. Hopefully, I think there's a feeling that they will also could be reducing their income tax by the same amount. So for being a citizen of Huntingburg and Jasper, you should see, it's just the money's gonna come through in a different way, but it'll probably be the same income tax in the end with us instituting. Unless we go crazy and put a high number in there, which I don't think we need to.
No, exactly,
We
okay.
can go up to 1.2%, but.
You did a good job presenting that. And every situation's gonna be different in different counties, if people had depending what tax structures that you have, but you're exactly right. So it's actually gonna give us more flexibility on how we implement it. There'll be certain things that, there's a portion in there for EMS, potentially. 2.9% total, okay, is the amount of total lit that could be collected with the county plus city portion. 1.7 at the county level, 1.2 at the city level, okay? There's gonna be a lot of instances where if it's something that's being collected at the county level, say for ambulance service or things of that nature, we will have the flexibility, or as well, I say that as local government, okay? That's still looking through that lens. We'll have the flexibility that if it's ambulances that are provided by the county and everybody's getting those services, that could be that'll be something that's collected by the county and paid by the county for the ambulance service. So it can be appropriate, I guess, we'll be able to combine, there'll be certain things that still can be combined where the city could be receiving a distribution of money collected by the county for all residents. And then there will also be, you will have the availability if you need to collect certain local income tax for your municipal residents for certain specific functions that would only apply to you, okay? But the mayor is correct. We don't have to raise taxes, that is giving you guys the flexibility to do that, okay? The first goal in this whole thing with the property tax relief is everybody had property tax concerns, right? Everybody has their story about how property taxes were going up exponentially. So the first idea was to give property tax relief and then give us as local governments an opportunity to right-size, look for efficiencies, but then also us have the tools to adapt and to respond at the local level. Like the mayor said, in 2015, 3.4% was the state tax rate, state income tax rate, okay? When this starts taking effect in 2027, it'll be, 2.9%. So over this time, there'll be a 0.5% reduction of income taxes that are taken out of our checks, that reduction at the state level. So if we end up needing a certain percentage of that at the local level to balance out and ensure the services we have the ability to do that. Plus, and I look at it as we're just collecting it at a different location, okay? And I would much rather collect it at the local level over here and administer it at the local level than collect it over here at the state or the federal level and let them dictate to us how we use our money, okay?
Could never bet on what happens in Indianapolis, but I hear more and more support of lowering that income tax each year.
Of the state income
State
tax.
income tax.
Absolutely. And I'm a proponent
A
of
lot of
lowering.
support of
Yes.
lowering that one.
Yes. So then, if we're lowering it there and hypothetically you're raising it here, it's not a raise, we're collecting it where we can administer it more efficiently. I mean, so, I think that's a good thing. And there is no intention of limiting your ability. It is actually going to give us more flexibility to be more efficient in how we do it. Now, it will also give local governments, it's going to be more responsibility tied to it, right? But you're going to be able to respond to it. If people are clamoring for more services, then you have the ability to adjust tax rates, whether it's, a wheel tax to help improve roads, okay? And if people, you're wanting a lot more done, well, then you have the ability to do it. Or conversely, if people are asking for property tax relief, income tax relief, you can lower the income tax. You'll have the ability to do that, but then you will also it'll be a one-to-one correlation. We're going to say, okay, so instead of paving 22 miles of roads this year, we're going to pave 16 miles of roads, and these are the 6 miles that we're going to push off for another year, so then everybody understands the cause and effect. So I guess that's the nuts and bolts, simplicity and transparency and local decision making.
I want to thank you, Senator, for being accessible to us, not only just us as elected officials, but the general public too. And we have good conversations. You listen. You don't always vote the way I want you to, but you listen and you consider. But you'll never vote the way I want you to all the time. But I do appreciate your accessibility.
I'm just trying to be a megaphone for 140,000 people. I didn't get involved because I had to. The easy thing would be to slow down, right, and to play more golf or something. But I want to help, and that's my priority. And having said that, I went through a lot of my opinion on the way I see, Senate Bill 1 and the way I see us moving forward in 7 years. Now, not accidental that most of it's not going to take effect till 2028. We have time to respond. The architects of the budget and Senate Bill 1, this started at the end of the session in 2023, a biennial budget, right? So every 2 years, we're doing a budget, the odd years. So after the budget of 2023, there were study committees that had been working diligently for 2 years to try, because this is a big change. This was a lot to swallow, okay? But it all makes sense to do this over this long period of time and increase the simplicity. So, but having said that, it's not implemented immediately, so if there's any unintended consequences, those study committees have already started meeting again, okay, to iron the bugs out a little bit. So as much as I'm here to tell you that the philosophy and the way I think that it's going, I'm also here, as you see things that are wrong and things that we need to modify and change and adapt, we'll do that. I'll do my best to help with that. Like if you look on the 1.7% that the counties can administer, it's 1.2% is considered general purpose, 0.4% fire protection and EMS, up to 2% for townships, libraries, and special units, and up to 3% for property tax relief. So if you do the math on that, That's actually 1.9%, so you can't max them out since your limit is the 1.7 as a county. And then 1.2% for the municipalities. Okay, people are concerned, and I've been hearing some questions lately, that 0.4% says EMS and fire protection. It doesn't mention anything about police, okay? I've got to research on that. I'm gonna be in Indianapolis the next couple days. I know there was no intention to defund the police, so so that's not an intention there. If we need to write that in just for clarification or something, I'm gonna address that and look at that. But the goal is to increase the amount of flexibility that we have as local governments, county or municipalities. So like the 1.2% is general purpose, at the top. So, it'll well be within the right of the county if they wanna do something, there to help, whatever the case may be, or you guys in the same way, the 1.2%, that municipalities have. You'll have the flexibility to use that as you see fit, and that's the way we want. Now, a lot of people are concerned in different things that if counties pull everything away and pulling the rug out from municipalities, that there's not enough room in the sorry, I can't sit still, but in the 1.2% that municipalities get to make up the difference, okay? And there's no good way to know that exactly yet, because we've never, on income taxes, they have not been tracking the addresses with it, okay? So, how are you gonna make an estimate, right? Would it be, for municipality, and separate that out? So, 2025 taxes payable in 2026, that will start being tracked. And then as we're moving forward, we'll be able to get better estimates and an understanding where we're at. So a lot of moving parts yet.
Yeah, my understanding, we should be able to get at least quarterly numbers next year.
Yes.
Ahead of time.
So that's the goal, to give you guys more
There was
information.
discussion at the mayor's conference, from both the bill's author as well as the governor, that that consideration of putting police back in that 0.4% will be taken to the
Okay.
Senate in the short session coming up.
Okay, you're a step ahead of me then.
Okay.
So that's good. So I would obviously have found that out tomorrow. But yes, those are all things being looked at. So I didn't want anybody to be concerned about that. Any other questions or things?
Can you elaborate on the community crossings requirement that you said won't take place till 2026?
Well, what there is there's a requirement for a wheel tax that, like a lot of counties that don't have a wheel tax, okay, so their community crossings matching grants, the first 100 million, everybody will be eligible for that pool. Well, then there was an incentive, I guess, the state wanted to, put skin in the game, okay? So the next pool that comes out, there's a formula that it'll be it's an unknown determined based off of revenue collected and things. But I saw one projection, maybe by 2031, there'd be another maybe $250 million and potential there, okay? So you can call it Community Crossings Matching Grant, or they call it a matching road and bridge matching grant fund. It's the same thing. In statute, it's a road and bridge matching grant fund.
2027 will be broken up by the competitive grant that we have, as well as you could be eligible based upon your lane miles. However, you could not compete with those unless you have your own wheel tax.
Yes.
The county wheel tax does not count on the municipal end, so the municipality would have to have their own. That has to be in place by September 1st.
I think it's September 1st of 2026.
2026.
Yes.
Because it has to go back in the system for the BMV to collect those at the time of licensing us in 2027. So we wouldn't actually see those funds until people started buying plates in 2027. But that is not a requirement until the 2020, that you have it in place until
Yes.
2027, which means we have to have it in place by end of August of 2026.
And the minimum, okay? And, I mean, there's a lot of differing opinions on the excise tax. Excise taxes for vehicles 11,000 and less, and I think I've got so it is just minimums. Okay. vehicles less than or equal to 11,000, the minimum is $7.50. And over 11,000, the minimum is $5. And as long as you do those minimums, then you qualify for that extra pool, approximately 20, they were projections, right? That's gonna change, 27's a long time away. The extra $250 million worth of community crossings matching grant fund. But there's also, if you look at this, and I guess I should say also or but, either way, right now, it's 50,000 population or less in the county, okay? That's gonna go to 55,000, plus right now your matching grant is 25%. That will go down to 20%. So you can almost look at it that we're reducing the percent of matching grant, but it's being made up over here in the wheel tax. And if you look at the wheel tax, as you guys have tools moving forward, I don't know that there's more of an appropriate tax for road funding and, per vehicle, okay? Per vehicle unit. I farm, so that, not necessarily great, when you got a lot of vehicles or whatever, but that's okay, I'm not complaining a bit. So it's appropriate mechanism and tool to use. So I just wanted to be, clear and so everybody understands that. But the minimum, the 5 and 750 qualify you. Because you can actually, the flexibility would be without a, what's exactly the plan, what do they call that, assessment plan?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's kind of, it's a capital plan, so.
Yeah, capital assessment plan, there's a plan if you guys fill out and make a long-term plan. The maximum for excise is $25 that you could go, so it'd be the 750 to 25, that's the range and the limits that you can do on it. But if you have a dedicated long-term plan, then you can actually collect up to $50. And then it would be 40 and 80 for above for the wheel tax. Excise is below 11 and below, wheel tax is above 11. So anyway, and maybe I got too much into the weeds on that, but it's that's pretty well I guess in a nutshell.
We start by, BMV will supply to us the number of wheels, so to speak, in the
Yes.
city of Huntingburg and go from there. You gotta realize that if we institute one and others don't, there could be some fallout by people registering vehicles at other locations. If they have multiple business locations, that's a possibility too. So, whatever we do, whatever we decide or to move with, realize that we may not receive everything that we needed.
Yes.
But we are fortunate enough that we do have a lot of commercial vehicles within our city, and a lot of communities don't have that.
Yes. So, and I thought whenever, I was naive in my first session. I thought when we would go up there and a bill became a law and then it was done, well, it becomes law, but there's still a lot of moving parts that the details have to be ironed out and worked out on that. So I'm just trying to, I guess, give you guys the overall view and vision.
Okay. One of the first conversations that you and I had during your, leading up to you being in the position you're in now was a safety tax.
Yes.
Is that option still available to local governments?
Absolutely. When I was on the county council, there was concern from a lot of fire departments and funding and those, and I was also, like when I was on the county council, when all this stuff was going on, I was going up to Indianapolis, and I already realized that these study committees were starting, but I didn't really know how the changes were gonna be and what was gonna happen. So that's why I advocated for waiting. But yes, we will have there's actually
That's where the point
more
4 is.
opportunity. I'm sorry.
That's the point 4 you spoke of earlier.
Yes,
Is the
yes.
safety
So,
tax.
plus, we now will have the flexibility, like the 1.2% that is for general purpose, as a county, I guess the room will be there to do it. Right now, DuBois County is 1.2% is the amount of income tax. That's the 8th lowest in the state. So, whatever, 92 minus 8, so there's 80, what would that be, 83 that are below us, or rate, that have higher rates than we do, I guess, inverse. But, so, that kind of goes back to the piece. It's gonna be, we'll have the flexibility as local governments, will that be something that you guys will collect a certain, a safety tax for your individual, whether it's fire, or will the fire be something that's gonna be collected by the entire county, and still, the availability, my understanding is still there. If there's something that makes sense that we're gonna collect from every resident in the county and then be distributed by the county, could be distributed to the municipalities as well, right? Because you have to watch, if we're gonna be collecting everything from everybody in the county, well, then all of a sudden, you guys are doing something additional, then, it'll be an extra burden on your residents.
But there is a maximum.
Yes,
Not every tax can be assessed.
yes.
Because at some point you'll hit the maximum, and so there is a lot that can be there. But they've done a great job of saying, if everybody does everything, you're gonna be over the maximum, so you won't be able to do that. So
Yes.
it does protect citizens. I don't want a 2.5% county income tax and us doing a 1% or anything like that. So
We've been responsible as a
has
county, as
helped us
municipalities.
with that. Plus the fact that you're lowering some of the state fees.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the piece that most people don't realize is as the state income taxes went down 0.5% here, in the last 10 or 12 years, so they're trying to, I guess, right-size government a little bit, plus give us the power and flexibility. We're gonna have a lot more control as councils, at the local level, a lot more power, responsibility, right? It's a double-edged sword, but we'll have an opportunity to manage better and fine-tune what we're doing. I think it's a great thing, It's gonna be more work for us, but, I consider us, I'm still saying that, but anyway. Any other questions? As you see things or hear things and you have questions, now's when we're working on bills for next session, and study committees are going on, up there, so just call and reach out.
When will the bill list be published, upcoming bills in the short session? Are they already out, or?
No,
haven't noticed them?
not yet. And I don't know that. I'll have to get back with you on that one. I do not know. Anything else?
I think
That's
your
my notepad.
paper, yeah.
I was getting right, I was like, where'd my notepad go?
Nice job, Senator.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, dear.
No, absolutely, anytime. Thank you very much.
I want to say also, he met with the Mayor's Youth Council up in Indianapolis and spoke to our high school students, and they were talking about that. We had our first Mayor's Youth Council meeting this morning, and they were still talking about it.
Is that right? Well, I was happy to do that.
They appreciated that.
Well, that was fun to talk to the young ones.
So did Steve Bartels later on in the day.
Oh, okay, great. No, well, they're our future. We have to get that next generation involved and passionate about trying to give back and find that servant's heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Any council items? Do we have any motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Adjourn. You got the time, I guess it's 6:53.